The Nun, starring Damian Bashir and Thaisa Farmiga, is about a nun who commits suicide at a convent in Romania, and the Vatican sends a priest and a nun on her way to completing her vows. They send them to investigate what happened to this nun because there's some suspicion that it involves some demonic forces surrounding this convent. Ever since the first Conjuring movie has come out, I've been a huge fan of the James Wan horror universe, essentially. That's what it basically is. And most of the movies have been pretty damn good in this Conjuring universe, except the first Annabelle. So I was pretty excited going into The Nun, actually really excited. The nun character, Valak, in Conjuring 2 was something that a lot of people clicked with, and especially me. That character actually gave me nightmares. I had to sleep with a light on for a couple days just because there's so much in the Conjuring 2 that it's nightmare fuel. Like, there's a scene with Lorraine's character, the Lorraine, and she is in her office, and there's a painting of Valak, and the stuff they do with that painting is just, it was so effective, and it really got under my skin. So just that stuff alone within the Conjuring 2 made me so excited for a standalone movie about the nun, and boy was I extremely disappointed by this Nun movie. Before I go on my rant about what I absolutely hate about this movie, I will mention the short list of positives. So the acting actually is not super bad. I think Thaisa Farmiga and Damian Bashir are really strong. You can tell they've kind of been around the block, and there's a reason why people really like them as actors. They give the best performances they can with the material they're given, and you can really tell they're passionate about this project. Also, another strong point for this movie is that the actual cinematography it's gorgeous. It's just drenched in gothic horror. It's kind of like it pays homage to like Hammer horror movies. It's like this older age of horror. It's really nice. It's kind of, I've seen a lot of people compare it to like a gothic Indiana Jones, which is, it's a fair assessment, I guess. It's not really as, it's not as in that same vein as Indiana Jones, but it's like, there's just a lot of cool set pieces and a lot of exploration and stuff, but no like crazy adventure like Indiana goes on. But yeah, so the set pieces, the cinematography, and there's a good use of practical effects. The CGIs can be questionable at times, but it's okay. And the acting is the best points of this movie. So let's get into the many negatives of this movie. Negative number one is that the script just plain and simple sucks. There is really no details on this character Valak. There's like a short scene where it explains kind of what's going on, and that's it. And you would think that in a standalone film for the nun that she would get more attention. Actually, I guess the nun character Valak is gender neutral, so it's not really a she. It's just disguised as a nun. But I felt like the nun had more of a spotlight on them or it when it was in Conjuring 2, which is really weird because this is a complete standalone film for Valak. So that was incredibly odd. You don't see much of Valak in this movie. It's always just kind of in the shadows, and you don't really get to see it that much. There's so much in the movie that's kind of boring. There's just a lot of empty dialogue and really bad dialogue, and you really don't get to find out too much about the protagonist. It's really weird. It's just like, it just kind of drags. The movie's only like an hour and a half, but it just feels so slow because nothing happens for the longest time. And the big problem of this movie is that it's just simply not scary. It uses old kind of horror tropes where, like, for instance, it will kind of show you something with the camera and you can kind of guess that a jump scare is about to happen, and then it will pan away and pan back and then there's something there. And it uses that over and over and over and over again. It just beats you to death with that. And another thing to do is, the old thing is like, oh, there's a creepy thing or something dangerous that I see in the distance. Let's go follow it for no reason. It's just like, that happens over and over again too. It's just, sometimes it's effective and it's early on when they use it, but as they keep using it over and over, it's just, we've grown up. We've seen horror movies. We deserve better than this. Treat us kind of with respect. I don't get it. And I know the director Corin Hardy is a big monster movie fan, so you would think he would make something a little bit more sophisticated than this, but it's kind of a lazy movie. It's just, I feel like, especially, I mean, I watched his first movie, The Hollow, and that movie is decent. It was pretty good. But I feel like he's just skating by on his visuals alone. Like, I think he'd be a better person to be focused on production rather than, like, directing. So, yeah, the directing of this movie is pretty weak, I have to say. This movie's just simply not scary. It doesn't work on a narrative level at all. And a lot of dialogue is just cheesy. It's just, I can't recommend this movie. In good conscience, I can't do it. So maybe if it's on Netflix or something one day, you can check it out if you have some free time. Otherwise, just don't go see this movie. It's a complete waste of time. So there are my thoughts on The Nun. Maybe you enjoyed it more than I did. I was just simply let down because I was expecting so much from this movie. But let me know what you thought of The Nun in the comment section below. Like this video and subscribe to my channel, and I will see you at the movies.